welcome, everyone. This is Big Baby Ben.
Judas Black, and tonight, man, oh man, you wouldn't believe we did it. We have a movie producer on the show, Clinton J. Phillips, an amazing person. We are ready to hear from you, brother. What are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm just chilling with my two newest friends. Ben, Judas, thank you so much for having us on. You guys do some really good work, and I enjoy listening to what you guys do each and every week. So keep up the great work. But, hey, I know it's a little out of the ordinary maybe for wrestling kind of thing, but it ties together a little bit. So if you give me 2 seconds, I'll tell you about what we're doing.
All right. That sounds great, man. I know that you were talking about you're going to be doing some stuff with helping with production with MCW. You've got a new movie coming out. Man, why don't we just go ahead and start off with the big banger? What about this movie?
Oh, yeah, right. So we got a production company called Three Feathers Films. My wife and I, she runs the show. I just do what she says. And we decided to do a feature-length horror film. And this is our first horror film that we've done. And it's coming out in September. We're super excited about it. It's 86 minutes of slash and kill 'em, old school type of horror. Less gore is more. Okay, I will say that. I'm a little less is more with me. And, it kind of brings back the old nostalgic slasher films from the 80s and early 90s. That's the baby right there.
Heck yeah. There it is. Weekend Getaway.
Yeah. And, I was a big fan of seeing some of these just ginormous characters to be the slashers, the killers, the dark characters and stuff. And, go back to See No Evil back in the early 2000s with Kane, just such a
Great film.
It is a great film, right?
Mm-hmm.
A ginormous character. And you got these little actresses that are being chased and killed and like all stuff. I'm like, this is awesome. We could do this. And, really got connected with a lot of people in the wrestling world and got, people that were involved with the film that are, again, wrestlers. And I don't want to say too many names because that might give things away. But one of the characters is a former WWE wrestler that's in our film. You probably, figure it out and put it together. But if you go to watch the film, it might give things away. And I don't want to blow it too much because there's a great storyline with this film. There's character build to it. It's let's build a relationship with these characters. It's not just let's kill people, for an hour and a half and that's it, right? We want to build that relationship up.
Absolutely. Yeah, without giving away too much about the film, does it have kind of like a specific type of storyline that it follows? Is there kind of a I want to say a story behind the killer himself? Like how did he come about, kind of thing?
So we don't really get into it in the first one, but if we get a sequel, which we have already kind of pre-production as a sequel for it, that's going to kind of get a little bit more into let's develop that character now. We've established them, and let's develop it and let people start to follow that and build that following for them. But the film itself is really about 8 city hipsters who are just working their lives away. And they get together one day as friends and they say, hey, we need to get out. We need to go someplace, have fun, get away from the city. And so they rent this cabin, right? Like how most films go. We rent this cabin out in the countryside for the weekend. They go out there and they realize, it's a little bit more than they bargained for. But when you work hard, you tend to play hard. But for a couple of city hipsters, they're about to find out how dead the weekend in the country can be.
Okay. All right.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, it sounds like your typical, your horror film kind of lined up, but this killer, he's just interesting looking. I'm going to say, is that a cloth bag on his head with a tire on it, isn't it?
So that is the poster art. There's no doubt about it. It's something a little bit more unrevealing. Right. Mm-hmm. We want to try to keep it cryptic. There's not just a butcher knife. It's not just a chainsaw. And I'm not hammering those franchises in any way, shape, or form. But, we try to think outside of the box with the ways that we wanted to kill people. Right. And, it's just things you don't necessarily see that you would imagine that that's going to be the item used to kill somebody. And all of a sudden, bam, here it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And so does this a lot of horror film franchises, their character, the main character, the killer, has a name. Now, I'm not saying his actual actor name because we don't want to give that away at the current
Mhm.
moment. But does the killer himself, does he have a specific name?
No, really is not. We only referred to him in the credits as the dark character because we want to be more of a just what's that story. We don't want to give that all away yet.
Okay. I mean, that's definitely very understandable. And we had a fan on there said it's actually Blue Shirt Girl from MCW. She kind of gained that moniker when she had that big stare down with Nasty Nick Nolan. There we go, right
No,
there.
love it. Love it. That's
Absolute stare
intimidating.
down. And the last time they actually made shirts that said the stare down, and then on the back it said Blue Shirt Girl. And Nasty Nick didn't stop this time. She wanted another stare down and didn't give it to her.
Well, I think after talking with him before the match, I think he was really nervous. You know, Rhino's just a beast of a person with the experience, and like I'm a pretty big guy myself. Actually, I'm a little bit bigger than Rhino is, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to rumble with this dude.
Rhino's a big boy, and that gore, man, that thing just knocks you back like on your butt.
Yeah.
And Nasty Nick is it's an amazing dude, awesome guy, but he's getting some huge opportunities right now. Rhino, and then he's got Matty Ice that he's going to be facing at the next show.
Mhm.
But if he can make it to August, like now he has EC3, and EC3 was actually up at CSW on the same night we were doing MCW. And so he was at that show. I wasn't able to go to both shows. I was running the podcast at MCW, but now finding out that he's going to be at MCW it gives me the cold chills. Like it's like the atmosphere is amazing when you get to meet people like this that have put time in with the wrestling world.
I was just going to say, talk about MCW and all these other alliances that are out there. These guys are really doing a lot of good work. I've been to a couple different venues in the last few months watching these wrestlers and just the effort that they put into it, the production, the value, the entertainment value. You can bring your family out there and see something that's great for good value. These guys are all heading in the right direction. And I got to tell you that, Vince and Koa Laksamana, just that whole character is very immersive. Appreciate that. He's bringing an energy that is just next level. And I think MCW is definitely heading in the right direction.
Absolutely. And let's steer back to you. Let's steer back to Clinton Phillips.
Sure.
How did you kind of get your start, I guess, in the world? Because I mean, obviously you didn't just have a production company. Like you started somewhere and you kind of started building your name and building who you were. Why don't you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Sure. I appreciate the question. So about 15 years ago, started acting in and around the Chicagoland area, movies, TV shows, things like that. There was a big draw for people that are willing to act with a police background. And I had over 20 years of uniformed experience with our local town here and use that to kind of get on those TV shows. And just after some time, I got really tired of being that featured face, being a background blur or just a passerby, things like that, that I says, you know what, let me produce my own film. I'll be certain that I won't get cut out of it. Let me, do this kind of stuff. And with the support of my family and my wife, we did some short films and some things that, really grew and took off and got a lot of international notoriety that we were able to secure funding for a full-length feature film. So that's the kind of build up to where we got today.
Okay, absolutely. You've talked about, you're a man that like to give opportunity, you like to help people and things like that. What kind of things, I guess, have you done? I know you've helped the one certain wrestler. We can't talk about the one certain person,
Yeah.
but have you helped out other talents, other people things like that in the wrestling world, or was that just a one-time gig?
Other friends that wrestle are actors as well, and certainly have sent their resumes, sent feedback, put people in touch with each other, helped crew get extra jobs, things like that. I want to help people and network with them as much as I can, because I know what it's like to be that hungry, aggressive person. And, it's hard getting anybody to hear you and listen to you and trust you or have confidence in you. And in a world that's a lot of who you know, there's such a wall for independents to climb against or climb over or bust through. It's so difficult. So anytime I can help anyone with their venture and journey, that people help me along the way, I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay, absolutely. When I get off here, I am going to message you, ask you some questions that maybe would kind of point and lead, what we're doing in the right direction. That'd be great. If you have any advice, for, small things that are starting up, that are trying to build and make their way into the world. But, enough about us. We're not here tonight to talk about us.
I do have a question. What is your favorite horror franchise?
I'm a huge Scream fan. Nev Campbell, was my celebrity honey. Finally got to meet her actually last year at a Monster Mania con in Pennsylvania. We went and stood in lines like everybody else. And I said, well, Ms. Campbell, I said, here, I got a story for you. And you may have never heard this at any convention before. Anybody that got an autograph, have they ever tried to cast you in a film? And she's like, no, what do you mean? And then we tried to cast her for Weekend Getaway. And she was actually working on Scream 6. And it was a conflict of genre. And she couldn't, even if she wanted to, she couldn't. I probably couldn't afford, I know I couldn't afford that talent list. But just, we shot off like real high. And then, we brought it back down a little bit. And Scream's my jam. And every movie she's been in, I've loved. And we won't talk about wild things, but there's some great moments in that movie.
Yeah, when we talk about franchises and horror film flicks and stuff, I'm a good old fashioned Jason fan.
Mm-hmm.
Huge fan of Jason. Clear back from his story, from when he started, how he became who he was. Just the whole idea, like this is just one giant lumberjack of a man, just walking straight at you and just grabs you and just uses that machete on you. And
I was always a fan of Freddy Krueger because he talked the most shit.
One of my favorite films, Jason versus Freddy. Love it.
No, that's great stuff. People often ask me, what can we use for tone or color? What can you compare Weekend Getaway to and things? And Cabin in the Woods is one. And
okay,
Friday the 13th, 2006 or 6. That version is very much spot on. And I didn't even see that one originally until after we filmed. Somebody's like, hey man, this really feels like this movie. You should check it out. And then I watched that and was like, holy cow, like some of the people that were on crew for that film were crew for my film. So it really ties in very well with that film. Absolutely.
I'm also a huge fan of like haunted house type horror films too. One of my top favorite ones, Amityville Horror. That movie just blew me away and gave me goosebumps. And I normally don't get scared by scary movies. Scary movies, I absolutely love them all day, every day. And that one actually kind of freaked me out a little bit. Like legitimately, if spirits and things like that were a real thing, it's kind of a conflict of are they or aren't they real? Right. If they absolutely are real, that right there just says it all. Something I wanted to point out, and I asked my wife about it. In the background, behind mystery serial killer, we have a moon. Mm-hmm. Is that a skull in the moon?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
So what's is that a symbolization of anything?
Nothing that I directed the artwork to do. I wanted something that was going to just draw people in and create, conversation piece and just some original art. I didn't want to take anything that's out there. I want to be original. Everything we did was as original as possible. We don't want to regurgitate anything in the film or even in our art and all that. It's all original stuff.
Big Baby, pull up that one image with the girl and the killer. This one right here just kind of, I know you say we don't want to regurgitate or bring back old, art imagery kind of thing, but this one kind of just takes me back to the older type serial killer films. Like you're standing in front of a mirror, you're trying to get away from the killer, and then you look in the mirror and you see him standing behind you.
Right.
That right there, that is actually my top favorite image of all your images that I've seen so far. Just that girl staring into the mirror and this killer appears right behind her. And
for sure. And that's very typical for like some horror films, just that over the shoulder looking, that lurking behind you kind of feel. And a lot of this film is stair steps of interaction with the character. So it might be 100 yards away from everybody, it might be 50 yards away, then 10 yards away, and then it's right behind you. Then it's like there's all these little steps to build up that anxiety. It's high anxiety, high suspense type of film. There's not a lot of jump scares, but I want your mind to start to just bring in that direction of scare you. Anything that gives you goosebumps to me is a scare, right? I mean, every film can jump scare. Comedies can jump scare you, if you're not expecting those. But, don't get me wrong, it's got a few of those, but this is just make you think and terrify that mind of what would you do if that was you?
Yeah, and Wrestling Bitch 29, Big Baby, pull up those couple comments. One says, 13 Ghosts terrified me growing up. That was a freaky film, an older horror film, but that was freaky. Like the different ghosts and spirits, that the ways they died, it was gruesome. And she also said, "What brought you to directing and producing?"
Yeah, let me just go back to that 13 Ghosts. That is a great film. Having those glasses that they throw on that you didn't know what to expect, and then you're like, wow, that's right in your face. And the special effects that is done on all those characters was really top notch. That was, to me, one of those films that were so original, and I just loved it. And hearing about them wanting to bring out a series to develop those characters individually, I think can really bring that franchise back to life.
Oh, they're planning on doing that.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing, that's happening. So I'm all for it. I'll guest direct. It'd be great.
There you go.
Get
in there.
Right. Hopefully they do. But yeah, producing and directing, it's such a hard thing because everybody else looks to you for direction. You've got to run your whole crew. Some days we had 200 people run around on set, from background to crew, talent. It's really hard to do. Somebody's got to be willing to do it, and it's just so hard. And my normal daily jobs, I do a lot of managing and things like that. My other businesses, that I could take that stress, that high level of work that's needed for it, and put that out there. So let's create something. Let's produce something that people can appreciate and sit around and watch. And at the same time, create something for my family moving forward, something for them to maybe get into, for my kids to want to be part of in the future growing up. And, I've got my wife and I have 3 boys, 15, 18, and 18. And, you just never know what they might find that they'd be interested in doing. And they all worked on the film. They all had parts. There were interns, whether they were grip, electric, rigging, they were all did different things, transportation. We had actually a bunch of interns. We brought in maybe 8 or 9 interns all together to work in different.
Wow.
different areas so they can learn the trade and see if it's something that they want to be. Some are in high school, some are out of high school, but you just don't know if you get an opportunity to be in that position to try something different. And, those people are interested in doing this in the future.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when we keep talking about different types of horror films that are out there and whatnot, one of my top favorite, most recent, and it kind of goes back a few years too, is the Conjuring series. Absolute fan of those series. Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were actually legitimate people, and these are supposed to be stories of their works and things that they did throughout their life and their career. But my top favorite though out of that, it's kind of a debate between Annabelle and The Nun. The Nun is an absolutely freaky film. Like that's just to think of something like a demon that is posing itself as something so holy, but yet it's not.
Right.
But if you had to rate your film on a scale, I guess, of very scary to just some jump scares and a little bit scary to kind of get people's minds perked and prepare them for another film, would you rate it, I guess, for let's see here. I want to think of a film like some of those scary films that they're like A Quiet Place kind of thing. Between A Quiet Place and The Nun on the rating scale, where would you place it?
There's not a lot in this world that scares me. Okay. So there's not a lot of films that I say walk out and like, that's terrifying. Right. And obviously if I was younger, more scary, right? If I was, 5'3" and I was 100 pounds soaking wet and I was a girl, it might be scarier. Right? So some people might be like, this might be a 6, but they're big and strong and things don't scare them. And you talk to the girl and it's like, I think this might be 7 or an 8, it's not going to be the scariest movie I've ever seen, but I'll watch this again. It was enough to, have that kind of quality to it.
Okay. So going to MCW, you showed up at the last show. You were advertising about the movie. You were giving away some shirts, which was awesome. That's something that is greatly appreciated, being able to promote and give things to people so that people get interested in the film, which is an amazing idea. That's kind of what we've been doing with Wrestling Bros. We've been kind of giving away a few items here and there when we go to the shows, giving away a couple autographs, to get people interested in what we're trying to provide here, whether it be a movie producer, a wrestler.
Our first giveaway was a shirt signed by all the talent, and it was given to a kid.
Yeah, so that's the idea. But when we go to MCW, what is ultimately? I know they said you're going to be helping with producing, but what is the ultimate goal with MCW? It's to help provide to them.
I just want to be a person that can provide ideas, thoughts, be a creative producer, whatever they need assistance with, right? Because it's just a great group of people, that's involved all the way around it that, maybe sometimes you need somebody that's not so focused in wrestling. What can we do business minded? How can we expand? How can we grow this? How can we reach people? All those types of things. Because, maybe it takes a little outside the box thinking to help them grow. Right. And there are quite a few of those wrestling packs and alliances out there. And, how do you set yourself aside from the next one? You got those people out there that are extreme violence and, like I can only see bulbs being broken over people so many times. Like that just, I can't do that. Like that's not my thing. I don't want to see that. But at the same time as you got to be fresh and new, what can you do differently that's going to help draw more fans? What brings them to that show?
Well, I can definitely say that they have one thing that not every promotion out there has, and that's a commentary team that not only commentates but also podcasts as well, and to help promote the show. That's something I've never seen done. I've never seen that done for a podcast or for a wrestling show. So I like that idea, outside the box thinking. What are they doing that we're not doing, or what is something they're not doing that we can do. And that's very very open-minded thinking. That's a great idea. And MCW, we want to see it prosper. We want to see it grow. We want to see it become this huge product that people just are dying to come see. And you're gonna have your haters, you're gonna have your people that like you, and MCW has had a little bit of that back and forth both ways. But I can tell you one thing: as long as they will have us, we will be there. As long and I'm sure that you'll say the same thing. As long as they're willing to have you, you will be there for MCW. I'm super stoked about this movie, guys. Weekend Getaway comes out in September. Not sure the exact date yet, but I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes glued to the TV to see when this thing will show up and when it will show out. Clinton, what do you know, like what movie apps it will be available on when it first premieres?
So we're still in negotiating with all the streaming services and video on demands. So that's not something that's going to be fixed and done yet until it gets closer to our requested release date, which is in September. If you happen to look at a calendar, you might see one date in September that really stands out as a special day. That's what we're shooting for, but we're not releasing that info yet because one, we got to be confident. We want to be 100% for sure we got this, and where it's going to be, right? And our distributor, who we work with, Spotlight Feature Films, is working really hard for us. Having those relationships out there, they're working hard getting our film out to be seen on as many platforms as physically possible. And I'm hearing initially quite a few. There's maybe 8 or 10 large platforms out there. Don't be surprised if it's on most of them.
Okay,
awesome.
Okay. And that's a great thing. Any chance it's going to pop up on Netflix?
So here's a funny story, right? Being very new. Before we even filmed, we were down in Atlanta promoting the film, and we were trying to get interest. We're trying to build, a following, all that stuff. We were at Days of the Dead convention in Atlanta, and I got a sign up on our booths that said "Seeking Distribution," which is to me one of the hardest parts of filmmaking. Every part's hard, but getting that distribution is a really big part. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, tell me about it. So I talked to him about it, 10 or 15 minutes in it. He's like, okay, I'm a buyer for Netflix. We want this. And I'm like, we haven't even filmed yet. Just the storyline and this and that. And you got to remember, this is fresh after COVID. Content was, really starting to be a vacuum, and they needed new stuff. And I kind of said no, because Netflix, you're limited to revenue. It's budget plus 20% or whatever you can negotiate. That I thought there was a higher ceiling for this film than just that. So I wanted to keep our options open. We said thank you, but no thank you. When we got the trailer done, I sent it to this guy, and he's like, "Holy crap, I really want it." I'm like, "No, we're not doing it yet." So, but that's our distributor's job. They're the ones that get it out there and put it out for everywhere.
Okay. I mean that's crazy. So, are you planning on being at the next show?
I'm thinking about it. That's June 29th, I think, right?
Yeah, June 29th. Yep.
Okay. Certainly would like to be. Want to be there to help those guys in any capacities necessary, right? Obviously, there's an emotional value to that show. The big deal for all those people. I'm not committed at this point, but I'd like to be. I'd like to see more people come out and see what the show's about. Come out and see us. Come out and see you guys. See the show. The venue is beautiful, which is at Skydive Chicago venue. They have the upper deck seating. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of want to sit in the upper deck and watch the show. There's not a bad seat in the house.
No, I mean, we're in the back behind everyone, and I mean, absolutely love our view. Yep. The cameras catch a great angle. which is great. And I like I said, I said again, the atmosphere. You can see where we're sitting at the one show, like right there in the back, and it was an amazing spot. Like we got everything. But once again, fans, Weekend Getaway. It's going to be an amazing film. Clinton, where can we purchase one of these shirts that you guys have?
You can shoot me a private message. We'll get some swag out to you. Not looking to always be charging people, but there is value to your time, right? So if you can invite 100 fans or all your friends
absolutely,
to our page, things like that that helps us grow. There's value to that I'll throw you a swag bag in the mail and whatever, something like that. So we're really trying to build our Facebook page, which is Weekend Getaway 2024. Build that.
I'll promote. No problem.
Beautiful. Appreciate that. Our YouTube link is big because that's one of the metrics that streaming services use to gauge whether or not there's interest, right? Instagram is a big one as well. TikTok, we're just starting to really come up with our TikToks. We've got a couple of them that got 60,000 views. Those are, I think.
Hey, if you shoot me those videos on those little short videos on Messenger, on private Messenger, I'll post them right to our TikTok.
That'd be amazing.
Help you share those because we've got over 1,100 followers on TikTok, and then on our Facebook page we have 428 followers, and then on my personal private Judas Black account, I've got over 1.3K followers. So
there you go.
We'll definitely get it out there. Everybody will know about Weekend Getaway. If you guys love your horror flicks, this is one that you don't want to miss. We don't know who the mystery killer is yet. We have yet to find out. We're excited to find out. And will someone survive in the movie, or will everybody be dead at the end?
You got to have a sequel for some reason, right? I mean, it's
somebody's got. You got to have an ending where they're walking in the dark, and here comes the killer.
What happens, right?
Absolutely. So, Big Baby.
So, what advice would you be able to give to somebody that wants to produce a movie, make a movie? Where do you start at?
Well, you got to have passion, right? And if you don't have the passion, you're just wasting everybody's time, right? You have that passion. You have connections. We were inspired. We have a beautiful location. We filmed at a cabin out in the woods. It's a beautiful place. That inspired us to do a horror film there. We did other films, but this just fit perfectly for a horror film. So you got that passion. You got the vision. You got to have a drive. You got to be able to do that. And to be honest, it takes a lot of money to make a film. All right. There's a lot of people involved. It's not cheap. The equipment's expensive. Be ready to spend money. People that say, "Oh, we can make a film. We can do a short film. It's not going to cost you nothing." It always costs something, whether it's food and beverage, whether it's. I mean, there's just always a cost to it. So, if you're going to do it, be ready to stick through it, and be ready to take a long time to do it. We're coming up on. We filmed almost 2 years ago, and it took a year to edit. We took a year to start building up marketing, things like that. It takes a long time to push out an independent film, start to finish, right? And then when we started writing this, I think we're probably almost 3 years now into it, and we put our whole heart and soul. We spent a lot of investor money, spent a lot of our own money. We actually had a near-death experience on set filming. One of our interns had an accident on some powered equipment. Was in a hospital for a long time. They wanted to airlift him. He recovered completely after it. But there's things that things you don't expect. But you're compassionate about it. You're focused. Your drive. It's you got to see it through to the end. If you're not willing to put that work and effort, don't start. But if you're willing to start it, you better finish it, and you're going to feel so completed when you're done. It's a big deal.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't have said that better myself. When it comes to passion and wanting to have that drive to do something, you got to put everything you have into it. Because if you don't, you're never going to get where you want to. By day, I'm a pest control specialist. By night, I'm a podcaster and a part-time wrestler. I'm a little bit of everything.
Absolutely. So,
what are you? What do you do by day, by chance?
Well, the president of Three Feathers Films is just popping on here. She wants to say
Ooh.
hi.
Okay. We got the president. What's your name here?
Ashley.
Okay, it's nice to meet you, Ashley. Why don't you give your insight on everything that's going on with this film?
I think he pretty much summed up everything.
Well, really summed it up. But she's the brains behind everything. She's the motivation. She's the support. If I get in a rut, she's the one that kicks my butt, get me moving, and just keeps me going. Right? She's the motivation. The kids are the motivation. So
that's awesome. I mean, absolutely amazing, because to have a support team is also a very big thing. If you don't have people supporting you and people always doubt you and stuff, then you start doubting yourself. And that's what I have. My wife, she supports everything that I do. So it makes me drive and go and go. And, and with Wrestling with Bros, Big Baby came to me one day. He said, "Hey, man, we talk about wrestling all the time." He's like, why don't we do a podcast? And we started out, she just started back in like March, April of last year. And we were actually just an audio podcast on Spotify. And then we met a podcaster out of New York. And he said, "You guys should go video." He said, try this streaming app. And we started it, and it just spun out of control after that. So, I don't know, Big Baby, what else you got? Got anything else you want to say, brother?
It does take passion to run something, and you two clearly have the passion, because the film is done and it's about to come out. Congratulations on that. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to see it. We're gonna promote it all the way until the release date. And when you have a release date, if you let us know, we can bring you back on and you can talk about it, when it's going to be released.
Much appreciated. Very, very much so. And go ahead.
I love the art. The art's amazing. That just the idea, the look, the killer. He just got that look in his eye that says, "I'm coming for you. You're not getting away." He kind of looks dead in the eyes, like he doesn't care about anything but taking out these people that came to his cabin area. So
absolutely, we shot a little promo video. I don't know, about 6 months before principal filming, and my wife was a victim. She got killed over and over again. It was a beautiful thing, and I put some of those pictures up, and my accounts get blocked for a week or two, and I'm like, no, I clearly said this is fake, this and that. So if you get blocked, I mean, you're doing something right. It looks
very hard to post almost anything. Like Big Baby was just telling me earlier that YouTube YouTube blocked where we were just the part where we were talking at the show. They blocked us for copyright. And I'm like, copyright of what?
Background music, maybe.
The only person I could tell, Ben, that I could think of they might have blocked us on copyright over is probably Rhino. Because Rhino's music his song is popular, it's well known. Who he is well known. So that's a possibility. It's the only thing I could think of, because the last show we didn't get, nothing got blocked. So I have no clue. So, but at least our live streams are still up. That did not get blocked. So
I really like the format. I don't think I've seen this before. I didn't know it was going to be a live, because all the other podcasts have been previously recorded and edited. And so, this is interesting. You're able to do live interaction. You got the pop-up blocks that come up that, distract me for a second, but they're cool because people want to interact and keep bringing those people in. That's fans. That's what we're doing it for, right?
I'm gonna actually introduce you to my wife wants to say something for a minute here.
No, I wasn't saying.
Come here.
No.
Come on in.
His wife is on the screen. Sit down.
Come
Go ahead
on
and
in.
pull it down, big babies. There she is. This is my support team right here. This is Addie. Amazing person.
I was just saying something about the YouTube thing, but you guys talk about YouTube.
Mhm.
I was watching it that day because it's really hard to hear you guys sometimes. I was trying to tell you to turn I think it's because of where you guys sit.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's hard to. You guys are just talking and then they're like cut out.
Oh,
It's so loud and behind you. That's all I was gonna say.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. I was like,
But yes, this is my support team. She is an amazing person, and I was married once before, and in my previous marriage, I mean, I loved my ex-wife, but I don't feel like the support team was 100% there all the time, 50-50. But with her, she's always there to support anything that I want to do. Same as if she wants to do something, I'm like, do it. You got to chase your dreams, because that's what I'm doing right now, is chasing my dreams. Ben is chasing his dreams. You guys chasing your dreams, doing what you love. And that's what you got to do, because like we were saying before, if you don't, your dreams ain't going to chase you and you'll never go anywhere. So, all right. Well,
You're not going to be around forever, so you got to make those memories count and follow your dreams and keep everything alive.
Absolutely, 100%. And so one more time here, we have Weekend Getaway scheduled to possibly, hopefully come out in September is what we're hearing. It looks like an amazing film from front to back. Like I said, my favorite art is the girl staring into the window and the killer popping up behind her. That just gives me horror film vibes all the way. It's 100%. I love the cracked mirror. That just gives that more freaky vibe and that scary vibe. Because if it was a clean, fresh-looking mirror, it just wouldn't be the same. So, yes, it's gonna be on a streaming service.
I know.
Yep. But as soon as he tells us the release date, we're gonna be scheduling that time. We're gonna be sitting down right here. We're gonna have popcorn. We're gonna have a watch along. Big Baby's gonna set it up. Send me the invite, and we're gonna have a live watch along reactions to the film as it's going on.
Hopefully it's on a Sunday so I can watch it with you.
Hey, if he knows the date ahead of time, you're requesting that day off.
Yep.
So I'm 100% ready for this film.
Favorite
So
genre.
please, everybody, check out Weekend Getaway. Facebook, they've got some TikTok up. You guys have Instagram, I assume, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can.
So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
one.
YouTube.
Yep.
Go check them out, guys. Clinton J. Phillips, Weekend Getaway. You guys are not going to want to miss this film. It is going to be a very amazing film. So I'm super excited and stoked. So let's get it. 100%.
Well,
Sounds good.
this has been another episode of Wrestling with Bros. This is Big Baby Ben.
Judas Black. This was Clinton J. Phillips. His wife, again, your name?
Ashley Phillips.
Ashley. That's what I thought it was, but I did not want to say the wrong name. So, yeah, Big Baby Ben, Judas Black, Clinton J. Phillips, Ashley. Thank you for joining us, Wrestling with Bros. Have a great night, everyone.